Welcome to J is for Justice podcast. If live breaking news and following true crime is your thing, then please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you like what you see in my videos, please consider giving them a thumbs up. Yo, what is up, everybody? Happy Sunday to you. It is Sunday, August 11th, and I'm coming at you live from Studio J in Clearwater, Florida. Let us know in chat where you're listening from. Ready to get back into this case. We have a new interview with Goncalves, Steve and Kristi. Welcome in, everybody. Hit that like button. Thank you, Ember. Ember said she was number 40. I hear you, One-Eyed Flo. That shit's too much. Too much. I don't know. That's a little dangerous venue to step into. Let me tell you, it's a little dangerous over there in that drama community. Welcome in, everybody. But we do have a new interview. My heart goes out to Steve and Kristi in this delay that they've had to deal with over and over and over. Now we have the venue change, and we're going to go over the venue change document as well and see what Bryan Kohberger's defense team is, stating the reason for the venue change. They want to take the trial from Latah County and Moscow, and they want to move it to Boise, and that's Ada County. And that's the same county where Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow had their trial. Speaking of them, there's some drama going on with Chad Daybell's house. Can we talk about Chad Daybell's house for a minute? It's good to see all of you guys this morning. Hello, Angie, Shell, One-Eyed Flo, and Potato. Oh, live chat reminder. Live chat reminder. I know the one you see is on live chat, but the one I'm looking at is not. Hey, the other Michelle H. Welcome in. Welcome in. We're going to be talking about some true crime today. Hello, Cheryl T. Let's talk about Chad Daybell's house for a minute, okay? So what happened with Chad Daybell's house is that it was, transferred over to Mr. Pryor, his lawyer, and we have a private purchaser in Rexburg. And they have bought the Daybell house, and they plan to put a memorial of some type there. Now, Kay Woodcock and Larry Woodcock, JJ's grandparents, they didn't get wind of this until the press release, like we all did. So Kay is upset because she was not informed. I mean, her grandson was unalived and buried there. I don't think that that's somewhere that the family would want to go back to memorialize JJ. It's a little fucking weird. So I understand where Kay's coming from. I think that's extremely odd. What do you guys think of that? Did you really, Ember? Ember says she went for a family drive the other day. We ended up driving past their house. I just think it's really weird. I think it's really weird. And then we have talking about houses. What a shocker that I watched last night. New video, body cam from Chris Watts' old house. Plunder has done it again. Plunder got the body cam. She paid the $400 that I didn't because I'm a broke bitch. And when I say I'm a broke bitch, I'm a broke bitch. I've had my car break down twice this week. I'm ready to cry. So I'm on the verge of crying. And I'm over it. I'm over it this week. But anyways, she got the body camera footage. And it is so eerie to see the inside of the Watts house, to see this interaction, the gray truck backed up in the driveway up to the garage. the white car in the garage, all the kids, you know, I couldn't help but thinking when I heard those older kids compared to Bella and Celeste, thinking that's what the Watts house would sound like if that never happened. I like Plunder too. She really does dig and get the goods. She does get the goods. It's very expensive because they had to redact these children out of there. They had 3 children under the age of 9 that were in there. And, you know, I was torn on that too, Cheryl T. I did inquire about getting it, and the lady told me it'd be $400, and I didn't have 400 extra bucks to get it. And I was kind of on like a moral teeter-totter, if you will, when I thought about it, because that's someone's domestic dispute, which is very private and very personal. And I didn't feel comfortable with that, to be honest. I didn't have the money anyways, but I did sit there and think, is this really something that I want to even bother putting out there? You know, I mean, we can talk about what happened, but it's out there now. She has the majority of it in her Patreon, but she did share clips, and it was eerie. I'm not going to lie, it was eerie. But you know what? The major thing, and we're going to talk about this on Tuesday when we recognize this case on the anniversary of the Watts case on Tuesday. It's falling on a Tuesday. We're going to talk about this one clip in there. And I was floored. And I don't know if you guys that watched it caught this. But the homeowner, the woman, the wife. Okay, so it comes out in the body cam. Let me explain this. So the dad must have went away on a trip. He was in Pennsylvania. And he tells the police officer that while he was gone, when he got home, his kid told him that his wife and her friend, the one that he caught kissing, were in the bedroom. They told the kids to go to bed, and they went into the master bedroom and they locked the door. And his son or his child told him, I don't know if it was the son, the child told the dad when he got home from Pennsylvania that the door was locked and they would not let the children in that night. And when the children woke up in the morning, the door was still locked and she still wouldn't let them in. So then you fast forward, he gets home from his trip and she invites this couple over that she was in the bedroom with. Their names are Mike and Bonnie. So Mike and Bonnie come over for this Super Bowl party. And her husband said, this is the first time that I met Mike and Bonnie. And the cop's like, where do they live? He's like, Castle Rock. And get this, before the cops even arrived, Bonnie went and scooped up her husband and said, Justin's going off. Let's go. They were already on the way home, and the cops called them to get her statement. Bonnie took off immediately. So, do you blame Justin? So this is what happened at the Super Bowl party. So they're all watching the game down in the living room. The kids are in the basement playing. And these two, the wife and Bonnie, go up to the loft upstairs and start playing video games. Well, Justin, he's already sus because he was told that his wife locked the children out of the room and was in the bedroom with Bonnie. So he sees his wife and Bonnie are missing from the party. So he goes to the kitty cam. They have a camera in the loft because it's the kids' playroom. And he looks at the camera in the loft and he sees Bonnie turn around, look behind her to make sure no one's coming up the steps. And then they start kissing. So he's mad. So he goes upstairs and he's like, what the heck? Come here. He takes his wife out into the garage to talk. And she's like, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. He's showing her the video. She's saying it didn't happen. So he's losing his shit because he's like, I've got it right here on camera. And the fact that you locked the kids out of the car, out of the house, or out of the bedroom. Right? You locked the kids out of the bedroom. So he's pissed. She goes back upstairs in the loft. He goes up there and he knocks the wine glass out of her hand because she's saying it didn't happen. So he knocks the wine glass out of her hand. It leaves a little cut on her finger. And then the cops get called. Well, Bonnie goes and scoops up her husband, Mike, and says, let's go. Justin's freaking out. She knew the cops were called. She was gone. Now, wouldn't it be some shit if Nicole Kessinger's new name was Bonnie? Oh my God, would that be a twist? But the weird thing is, too, at the party at the Watts, or not, at their house at the Super Bowl party, were also neighbors. So my question is, were those neighbors that were hanging out at the Super Bowl party, did they live there when Chris and Shanann lived there? Or are they newer neighbors? I'd be interested to know. And I don't know how you can be in that house and not think about what happened in there. It's so eerie. I highly suggest you watch it. But we will go over that one clip on Tuesday when we revisit the Watts case. Oh, I know, Cheryl, it was crazy. PJ Vision, thank you for becoming a member. And you didn't have to do that, but I do appreciate you being here. I was going to say hi to you when I was done with my my rant. Bonnie Kessinger Watts. Wouldn't that be some shit, though? That would be weird. I'd be like, whoa. I appreciate you becoming a member, PJ. And I think you were treated unfairly, so. This morning. See, I told you guys, Potato and Shell, I said, with all this drama going on, we'll be lucky if we get 80 viewers for the real true crime stuff. Isn't that sad? That's sad. We got so much going on in the true crime world. Like, I can barely keep up. And I want to apologize for last night's stream. When I cut off Sarah Boone, I didn't mean to. It's okay, PJ. I don't judge here, man. I don't care what people do on their channels. Like, what you do on your channel with Dolly is none of my damn business. If you're cool with me here, then you're cool with me. And that's why I am so hesitant to go off of my own channel and venture out into the YouTube world. It does become more important, and it's sad. I mean, there is some relevant drama that happens in true crime, but we have so many updates. Like, we just went through, Chad Daybell and Chris Watts. I mean, that's crazy. Oh, man. Anyways, thank you for joining. Chris, good to see you this morning. Trisha, it's good to see you. Lisa, Cat's Head Thumbs, thank you for coming in. I appreciate you guys. The other Michelle, Feminem, good to see you. Mrs. Smith, good to see you. I know there's a lot going on. KLS, happy Sunday to you. All right, so let's get into, it's never ending. It's never ending, PJ. It's like you can explain yourself till the cows come home and it'll never change. I can't do that round and round stuff. I can't go round and round, but who bought a pint glass? I have to thank you. Amy purchased stickers, a 1202 somewhere clicker pint glass for some brewskis, and an embroidered apron. Amy, so much. Oh my God. Thank you so much for your support. I love it. Thank you so much for purchasing my merch. That really makes me feel good. I like PJ and Dolly too. I ain't got nothing against them. What's up, One-Eyed Flo? Thank you so much for your super chat. Morning to you too, babe. Good morning, Kansas. Good morning, Missy Lee. Mezra. So my granddaughter got a kitty over the weekend. His name is Riffy, and he's black and white tuxedo cat, and she's so excited. They went and got him from the rescue. It's a girl. She's a year old. So we have that, and then we got 3D pictures of my grandson yesterday, which was amazing. Thank you, Sherry. I appreciate your support, honey. Thank you. She did. She got, well, it's not a kitten. It's a year old, but she got her very own kitty cat. I know. And it's so funny because my son is not a cat person. And I was sent pictures last night of the cat, like he was napping on the couch and the cat was curled up by his feet. Don't you love how cats do that? The ones that they know don't want him around, they're like, come on. Oh, I will. I'll share pics in Discord. I know she's been wanting a kitty, or a dog or a cat. She just loves animals, you know. But dogs are so much more work, and they work during the day, and she's at school. So it's not really fair to get a puppy and leave it at home. You know what I mean? Thank you so much for your support today, you guys. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. He will love that kitty like his new baby in no time. Yeah. They're awesome. I know. They're awesome. I'm going to make you love me. Just do it. I know. He will. He will. All right. Let's get into the video. This is Vinnie Politan. This is from Vinnie Politan Investigates on Court TV. This aired on 8/5. So this was almost a week ago now. But I think it's important, you know, since there's really no updates in Bryan Kohberger's case and in this trial and everything else, it's important to follow up with the victims, right? See how they're feeling, see how they're faring. And I have to say, man, the Goncalves family has always been strong and, you know, ready to take on anything that they have to in this case. Okay, here we go.
Santa and Ethan.
It's amazingly tragic, obviously, but then the story in the case moves into our system of justice. And that brings me to our question, which is, it's a big one. What is justice here? What is justice for the families? Let me bring in our special guests, the mother and father of Kaylee Goncalves, Steve and Kristi
Hey,
Goncalves,
Sarah.
as well as the attorney representing the family, Shannon Gray. Thank you all so much for being here. I know this is never easy, but I think the nation has seen the strength of your family.
Absolutely.
And as you sit here tonight, what is justice for you? What is justice?
That's a hard question that we've thought a lot about. Sometimes I feel that there is no justice. Nothing's going to bring the kids back. And therefore, the only thing that would be justice for me is for this person to be living in agony in the depths of hell.
Get it, Kristi.
I know that there's a lot of families who don't actually get somebody that is actually charged for it. So I do feel that we are lucky in that standpoint. And a lot of detectives and investigators put in a lot of hard work, and we're lucky to have that, and we want to be appreciative for that.
Now, do you notice they're not putting down law enforcement? We're appreciative for all of the investigators' time. They do look good. I really love them. I know Vinny's a handsome man, isn't he? Yeah, he is. I really admire this family. I think they are so classy. I think they've handled themselves. They're so strong. They're like a really strong unit. They're that family unit they have, and it's something really to be admired, in my opinion.
It's a long, slow process, but we're willing and we're ready to do that. We're ready to put in the time and the effort and get through this. and to show people that this is the way that, we can see justice in action, see the truth being taken in place, and then the right outcome, and society gets back to normal.
Shannon, this is a difficult journey, an absolutely difficult journey. That's why I'm so glad that you are there to help this family through this. What?
See, now that's who you need to help you through it, right? Someone like Shannon Gray. Like, it's just so polar opposite. And I hate to compare it to Sebastian's case, but there's been such a mess. It's hard not to compare, families that are grieving, families that are going through it. And everybody's different, but WB, oops, I think I'm on an anti-Kohlberger, it's Kohlberger podcast. I don't know what you mean about anti-Kohlberger. We are a true crime podcast and we discuss cases.
What is your take so far on how our system of justice is doing in this case?
It's a tough question because, it's a small jurisdiction. I work in a much larger jurisdiction where things move a lot faster. You think things are going to move a certain way and sometimes they don't. So it's been difficult for the family because a lot of times I'll say this is how A, B, and C should happen, and they don't happen that way. I have to explain why it didn't happen, and why it's taken so long, or it's taken longer than usual, or why the prosecution or the defense have done things that they've done. But I'm small compared to what Steve and Kristi go through every day. I'm just thankful that they found me, that I can help them and answer any questions I can about them and ease their minds.
See, that is what someone who's helping the family does. Ease their minds, talk them through the process, speak for them, etc., etc. Right? WB, does your name stand for Warner Brothers? Because I think it does.
When their minds need to be eased about the criminal justice process and what's going on, they're always going to be a part of my life, and I love them to death. So,
Kristi, what are the plans?
See, look at Steve. He's like, I got a buddy that helped me through. Look at that smile. I'm sorry. I'm emotional today.
For the trial when it happens?
Well, we'll know more at the end of this month when the change of venue is heard and is decided. We plan on being there. We want to be there. There's about 10 of us in the family that intend on being there for most of it. Obviously, there's going to be days that we will not be there intentionally for. But we're hoping that it stays in Latah County. So, that's a 2-hour drive for us. The further counties that they're looking at would make it hard. So we would have to relook at things. But we want to be there.
Okay, so the change of venue is going to make them drive even further. Like, they're already 2 hours north of Latah. So that is something that probably isn't too good for them. But do you guys think that Bryan Kohberger could get a fair trial in Latah County? I cried at the Olympics too. I don't know why I'm so emotional. And I'm not a crier. And this weekend has been bad. I think they'll be there no matter what too. I just, I don't like to see it harder on them, but we also need to make sure it's fair so that Bryan Kohberger can't come back later and wreak havoc in their lives again. Thank you, Shell. Well, my granddaughter's starting kindergarten tomorrow. My daughter's starting a new job tomorrow since moving to Florida. So there's a lot going on. She posted it would be 6 to 7 hours if it's in Boise. Let's do a poll and see if you guys think that he can get a fair trial in Utah. Because I'm curious with their poll, the little phone polls they were going to do, if that, panned out. Do you think, and it's Koberger, not Kohlberger, Looney Tunes, can get a fair trial in Utah County? Because you know how rural it is. Most of the people live in Moscow. It's okay to get emotional. I know. I just don't like that.
Steve,
We tend to be there.
Steve, as you have been on this journey now, it seems like forever, I'm sure, for you. Do you see any light at the end of the tunnel? Do you see that, hey, at some point, this page will turn?
I think of it as this is a living example of how we get things right again. Natal County did everything. The reason this is so slow and this process is taking so long is because they tried to do everything exactly by the book so that the community could see the justice, they could see it, and it wouldn't have to be taken, Idaho's a large state, it wouldn't have to be taken, 6-7 hours away. So I look at this as a living example of the way we correct things. When things go wrong, when things fall off the rails, like you said, you send your kids off to college, the last thing you should think of is anything other than your kid being a dumb kid and doing something embarrassing to get them on a camera or something that you're going to see at your employer the next day. That's like really bad. And for murder, for death, that's just not, that can't be new normal. That can't be something that we accept as a society. So,
okay, so do you hear what he's saying? He's even thinking about the Koberger parents. He's thinking about Brian's parents having to digest that their kid's a murderer. I mean, these people's hearts are amazing. Thank you, Suze. I appreciate that sentiment. Such respect and high regard for the Goncalves family, all the families have had to deal with and face for being so strong for their children. I know what the loss of a child costs a parent.
I think we can be a living example for everyone how we can course correct and figure this thing out and hold somebody accountable and show that this is just a one-off that won't happen and it's not the new norm.
See, and he's saying, this is not the new norm, that this is something that's, happening on campuses. He's even trying to protect the public from having like misconceptions before their child goes to college.
Kristi, are there moments where you can have happy memories? Are there moments where you can smile and think about Kaylee?
Oh, absolutely. You can't think about Kaylee and not smile, and we have so many happy memories and so many videos and so many pictures. And I look at them all the time. It's those late nights that get you, and you think of the tragedy that unfolded. And, it's terrorizing, it's traumatizing. But there are happy moments. There are.
Steve, if this gets the conclusion that we're all hoping for, which is the truth comes out and there's a conviction, are you prepared to make an impact statement?
Yeah, I just know my family. I know my kids. They're all strong. They're all intelligent, super smart. Every one of them has already wrote it out. They've already got it set in stone.
those children have already written victim impact statements too. Can you imagine at sentencing for Brian Koberger? Oh my God. I can't. Do you guys think, because the Chapins said they won't go to the trial, do you guys think that they'll show up for victim impact statements? I appreciate all of the kind words in chat. You guys are awesome. Do you guys think that? Do you think they'll come in and do a victim impact statement at the end? Those are going to be really hard to listen to. Think about Ben, Maddie's dad. Oh my God. It's going to be a tough trial. I know we're all excited for, it to happen, but think about that. Those children have already sat down and wrote their witnessing or their victim impact statements. Yeah, it's really sad because it doesn't change for them no matter who it is. He'll enjoy hearing their pain. Aristocat, you think so? Hi, Kendo. Good to see you. We're having an emotional day here at Jays for Justice. I do. I love Maddie's dad, too. He's amazing. I know. It's made me feel so much better, Cheryl. Thank you. Hi, Brandy.
So yeah, we're willing to and just thank the community and thank all the people who've put their lives on pause so that we could have that moment, so we could have the justice, because it doesn't just happen by accident. And we've got people like Shannon in our life. It's amazing what we've been able to see, how people have shown love to our family and reached out to us and flooded us with letters and different things.
So many people have sent them. They have the keychains they're collecting. People are sending them all kinds of things from all over the world to show their support. It's amazing. And speaking of amazing support, Brandywine says, ride or die. Thank you, Brandywine. I appreciate you. It is really sad. Just sitting, waiting, for this. Kendo, it's good to see you dressed in blue in here. We've missed you. Aw, Amy, thank you. And I'm sorry for what you're going through. We go through things with our kids, and we just sometimes have to just let them work through things, and it's hard. It's hard.
So, yeah, I feel an obligation to all the people that have been with us this whole time, and that's why there's that sense of pressure that this has got to turn out a certain way, and we're looking forward to seeing that turn out.
And Shannon, do you expect any problems with?
And he said there's a lot of pressure on us for this to turn out the right way. So they've got this added pressure feeling on them, which I don't think that they need to carry that burden, but they do. But, add that on top of the grief, the anxiety, the having to see Koberger, everything that goes into it, and then the pressure. Having all these people wanting, things to go a certain way. It's more than any human being should ever have to take on. I appreciate you saying that, Sarah. Aw, Angie. Ride or die here, too. I love you, too, Ange. We're all going through shit, everybody. And we're supposed to be there for each other, not break each other down, right? And I'm seeing too much of that, man. I can't. That's hard on the psyche. Seeing people just go at each other constantly. It's hard on the psyche. On mine, anyway. I like peace and love and smoking a joint here and there. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't about that. I like keeping facts straight and calling out, wrong facts in a case. But that's where it ends for me. People are going to talk about me no matter what I say or do.
with all the victims that want to speak being able to speak if and when we get to that part of this case?
Yeah, that was an odd occurrence that happened over in the Lori Vallow trial where the judge was pretty, I don't know, strict or adamant about following the statute when it came to who could speak and give victims impact statements. Most of the time, the immediate family and those things will be able to speak. The judge may put down, his foot when it comes to grandparents and other things that under the statute currently aren't maybe allowed.
So he's talking about in Chad Daybell's trial, they did not allow Larry Woodcock to give a victim impact statement because he wasn't his bio family member. And that was strictly up to the judge. Yeah, Angie, that will definitely provide some relief. Yeah, Kimmy. It's good to see you, Kimmy. I will, Suze. Whereabouts in Ohio are you? Yellow Springs. That sounds really cool. I love springs. I've never been to the springs. 420. Puff, puff, pass. It's Sunday Fun Jay. Yeah, his hair got long. He's cool, though. He's a hippie. He's cool. He's down to earth, He's from Oregon.
Unless they're serve as a representative for the family, but I'm hoping that the whole anybody gets to speak what they want to.
Me too.
There's a reasoning to it, but I don't see there being any problems in this case. So
that's good to hear. Shannon Gray, thank you so much. Kristi and Steve Goncalves, our thoughts are with you, and that the nation's thoughts are with you, and our best to all of your family. Thank you so much.
Vinny's so genuine. I think he's so genuine. Between Columbus and Dayton. Cool, Suze. So that was what they had to say, and I appreciate Vinny bringing them on and giving them, putting them back in the spotlight. Hi, Miss Kay. Thanks for the flowers. She said, we came home and planted flowers.
She said, we came home, we planted flowers on the side of the house.
Yep, no surprises for Uncle Vinny. And do you notice that wasn't even awkward at all? It wasn't awkward at all like the last one with Seth was. That was really awkward. Really weird. Moving forward, let's take a look at this change of venue. I'm not going to read every word, but the issues. We're going to read through the issues that Bryan Kohberger's defense team thinks that they're going to have by having the trial in Latah. Issue 1, Bryan Kohberger cannot receive a fair trial in Latah County as protected by his rights by both the United States and Idaho constitutions because of the pervasive, inflammatory, often inaccurate, and highly prejudicial publicity and the small size of the jury veneer. So that means there's slim pickings. Slim pickings in Latah County. And we all knew that, right? We knew that there was slim pickings there because it's so rural and small. I mean, hell, half the people, or more than half the people probably live in Moscow. We're also going to talk, hang on, I'm going to pull this up and get it ready because I don't want to forget. We're going to talk a little bit about Oregon and a situation that happened in Ohio, which is actually where you're from there. We'll get into that after this. Okay, so the second issue is a change of venue is necessary under Idaho Criminal Rule 21 and Idaho Code 19-1801. So the abbreviated factual background is as follows. Media coverage of this case that later became State versus Bryan Kohberger began in the early afternoon of November 13th, 2022, when the news broke of 4 homicides in Latah County, Idaho. Extensive media coverage ensued for 6 weeks. During the police investigation, prior to the arrest of Mr. Koberger. Daily updates were available from Moscow Police Department. Often participating in the updates or press releases was the Latah County prosecutor and chief of police James Fry. These broadcasts were played on television news stations as well as print and digital media. Social media covered the investigation, with MPD updating its Facebook and providing press releases regularly. Then they have the exhibit of the press releases. MPD's investigation included law enforcement partners from Idaho State Police and FBI. Media coverage, particularly in the market covering Latah County, was replete with story after story in local newspapers and news stations. Media focus did not stop with locally targeted news stations or newspapers. It extended into magazines, books, crime TV shows, and the current medium of information and opinion sharing, the internet. Immediately and consistently, the internet was abuzz with podcasts, tweets, Facebook groups, Reddit, YouTube, and TikTok postings, which is true in every high-profile case. Once the police arrested Mr. Koberger, the public was ready to, and has, proceeded to vilify him without regard to the constitutional guarantee of the presumption of innocence and a right to an impartial jury and fair trial. The media focus on Mr. Koberger has been relentless and highly inflammatory. Now, do you believe those statements? Do you believe those statements? Brian Koberger could not receive a fair trial. The great value of the trial. Wait, hold on. I'm not going to read that. That's from case file. Okay, the United States Constitution guarantee an accused with a fair trial and an impartial jury. The constitutional mandate of a fair trial by an impartial jury requires a change of venue where an impartial jury cannot be impaneled in the district where the indictment is returned. Then we go down here. Brian Christopher Koberger, once arrested, became a recognized name. The investigation into the deaths of the 4 college students had captured the attention of the community, the state, the country, and even beyond the United States long before the arrest of Mr. Koberger. Since his arrest, interest in the charges, who he is, and his background continue rather than fade over time. The continuous nature of media coverage, often inaccurate and misleading, the impact of the media coverage, and the small size of the community make the case against Mr. Koberger extreme. Media saturation in Latah County has been continuously heavy since the deaths were reported. Public interest in this case does not wane. Stories about the case of Mr. Koberger come in the form of published books, television crime shows, internet platforms, social media, news stations, and newspapers. The most coverage from these sources has occurred in Latah County. Coverage runs the gamut of reporting on items contained in court filings to reporting what, quote, unnamed sources, that's Howard Bloom, have said, as well as reporting based on other media stories. These stories are often rife with misinformation and speculation. The amount of media stories, the inaccurate and speculative nature of the stories, and the impact on potential jurors show that State versus Koberger is an extreme case. The impact of this vast media coverage on a potential Latah County juror demonstrates the necessity of venue change. Media from locations outside of Latah County is easily accessible to a potential juror. However, Latah County residents have received the most media saturation within the state. So then it goes on to say, let's see, let's go down here. They're citing a bunch of case law. This is like 300 pages. So here's the exhibitees. Damn. Hold on. Lots of press releases in here. Okay, so here's the survey. This is what I wanted to find out. Okay, so here is the survey results. The survey data, so if you guys don't know what the survey is, the defense employed a company to call and poll Latah County. So here it is. A telephone survey was conducted in Latah County, comparison surveys were conducted in Ada, Canyon, and Bannock counties. Research Strategies, Inc. was hired to field the telephone survey. So they called these people, and the survey data indicate that the media coverage has negatively impacted the Latah County jury pool. For example, 98% of the Latah County survey respondents have read, seen, or heard about this case. And 86% recognized at least 4 of the 9 media items tested in the survey. 81% of those familiar with the case have read, seen, or heard that police found a knife sheath on the bed next to one of the victims. Do you think any of this matters? So what if they know the police found a knife sheath? And 67% heard that DNA found on the sheath matched Brian Kohberger. In addition, 88% of Latah County survey respondents have talked about this case or heard others talking about it. The media coverage has also shifted the burden of proof to the defendant. Many community members exposed to the prejudicial media coverage hold a, quote, presumption of guilt, end quote, in this case. 67% of survey respondents familiar with the case believe that Brian Kohberger is guilty of murder. 67%. And 51% reported that he would have a difficult time convincing them otherwise. So half of the people that were surveyed said they felt he was guilty and you'd have a hard time convincing me otherwise. So what do you guys think of that? I say put it in Ada County and forget about it. I mean, they did it with Chad Daybell. I think they're going to do it with him. I just have a feeling. But does that mean...
Yeah.
Hold on. That's going to be our next thing. Does that mean that Judge would have to go to Ada? Or would he get the judge in Ada? Yeah, the survey footage, the survey result is in here. Oh, here's more. Here's more stats. In addition, approximately 68% said that they followed the case somewhat or very closely, with 29 falling into the latter category. 67% of prospective jurors who were familiar with the case believe Brian Kohberger is guilty of murder. 67%, with 25% falling into the definitely guilty category. The presumption of guilt increased to 81% for those who recognized 7 or more media items tested in the survey. 81%. Furthermore, 51% of those who have been exposed to media coverage reported that Kohberger would have a difficult time convincing them he is not guilty, which increased to 66% for those who recognized 7 or more media items. Just 19% reported that the defendant would not have a difficult time convincing them of his innocence. Woo, those are not good stats. 52% believe that the jury should sentence him to death if he's convicted, compared to 24% who favor the life without possibility of parole. 51% of those who did not support a life sentence indicated that the defendant would have a difficult time convincing them that he should not be executed. Only 19% disagreed with that statement. Wow. So there's tons of stats in here. Look. Brian Kohberger. Okay, look at Brian Kohberger stalked one of the victims. Believe the defendant is guilty, 81%. Defendant would have a difficult time convincing, 62%. Brian Kohberger said he was out driving alone on the night of the murders. 79% said the percent guilty, 62% difficult time convincing not guilty. Brian Kohberger had followed one of the victims on social media, 79% and 62%. DNA found on the sheath was matched to Brian Kohberger. 75% think he's guilty, 56% difficult time convince me you're not. Police found a knife sheath on the bed next to one of the victims. 72% guilty, 55% gotta convince me. Brian Kohberger owned the same type of car recorded on video, driving in the neighborhood where the killings occurred. 72% again, guilty. 55%, he'd have a difficult time convincing me he's not. Cell phone tower data show that Brian Koberger made several trips near the victim's home in the months before the killings. 72% guilty, 55%. You'd have a hard time convincing me. So 88% of the Latah County survey respondents who recognized the case have talked about the murders or heard others talking about them. 45% have read, seen, or heard that Brian Koberger stalked one of the victims. And 45% were aware he allegedly followed one of them on social media. So it says here, Latah County survey respondents reported a litany of rumors and conjecture that have been spread in the coverage, informal discussions, and social media. So that would be our kind of discussions. Okay? Informal discussions. This is us right here, right now. These are your informal fucking discussions. You ready? He may come from a family of crime and previous cases have been uncovered. I've heard that Koberger has been linked to other murders in Washington and Pennsylvania. I've heard they are railroading Koberger to put him away, and the evidence was planted and he was being framed. One other one that I heard was he was working with one or the other of the roommates. Some speculation that Koberger committed a murder in Oregon. Possible. That's the couple, remember, that was attacked. The house was a party house. And a couple of people who died weren't supposed to be there. The boyfriend and girlfriend. Also, Koberger had commented about committing the perfect murder in a paper. That maybe one of the victims had rejected him sexually because of this. Or caused this. And with his criminal justice interest, he wanted to try to commit the perfect murder. The girls were party girls. Brian was studying criminology. See how much he could get away with. If you were going to kill someone, how would you get away with it? I just heard it was part of his research to commit these murders in a small town because he thought he could get away with it. These are all statements of the people polled. That he planned it out and he would keep doing it if he wasn't caught. He was a law student at WSU and he looked on the internet for how to do certain things. He was interviewing people for his thesis. Someone said he might have been snubbed by the girls at parties. Students that were killed were big partiers and had been to parties with them. And he had been to parties with them. And that Koberger bragged about committing a perfect murder and was taking criminal justice classes. People who they thought was involved, also that the other roommates were involved, but that hasn't been proven. It's just a rumor. Rumors about other suspects. He frequented Mad Greek, stalking. That there could have been another person. I heard that Koberger had an obsession. Multiple people involved may have been connected with ritual killings of an animal. Speculation that the roommates are involved. Surprised the police did not do more investigations. I think frat boys may have been involved. News on the street. It was a really gruesome murder and vicious. Also heard by people I know in jail. They have told me they have seen interaction with police and Koberger while in jail and says the police are friendly to butter up Koberger to try to get him to talk. Police here are doing an excellent job hearing on the case. We were told he sliced and diced them and hung them from the fan. Oh my God. I can't even believe that's in these papers. Wow. This shit came from 4chan. Oh my God. Wow. I'm sorry, I'm not looking at chat because I'm reading, but y'all, what the heck? All this shit online is coming into this case, even 4chan. So you pro Kobergers out there, look at what you're doing. Look at what you're doing. Don't know why he did it. There were some rumors he stalked the girls, but can't say that's true. The rumor that he was an ex of one of the female victims, and I heard he had Tourette's. He fit the description and was in the wrong place at the wrong time. He tried to leave the country. I heard that it was 2 people, and they found his DNA at the scene. See, this is all coming from casual conversations online. I heard that the defense isn't sure who it is, or maybe the roommates are involved, or there may be more than one person. He had someone else in the car with him. He killed people, and there was someone else helping him. His roommate said Koberger was acting strange around the time of the murders. He is guilty. He did it, and the evidence was found at the crime scene. He knew one of the people in there. He tried to connect with one woman. He was aware of where the girls were all the time, been in and around the house a couple times. Rumors that there was a second person responsible, and rumors of following the girls online and lots of parties at the house because it is a university town. He was obsessed with one of the girls at the house. I heard that Brian tried to hit on one of the girls at the restaurant. Brian Koberger said, am I the only one getting arrested when the cop picked him up? He was stalking one of the victims. He was delusional about being in a relationship with one of the girls. This is crazy. This is summing up all of these fucked up YouTube conversations in like a court document. We're pretty sure he did it. Pretty sure he was stalking them, checking on the places they went. One of the girls had spurred his romantic advances. He went into the house and he killed 3 girls and 1 gentleman. He was dating one of the girls and she stopped seeing him. He backed off and killed them all. Him sleeping or being obsessed with one of the girls and him stalking them. What? His relationship with the victims, attracted to one. I've heard something along the lines that he had a personal grudge against them, but don't know if it's true. I heard he was stalking 2 of the victims. I also heard he went back in the house after the murders were committed. I also heard that the roommates were in on it. He was a teacher assistant at WSU and he had issues with women there. One of the restaurants where he ate, it was where one of the girls worked at. This goes on. I don't even know if I can read all these. Oh my God, look at this. Oh, I can't read all those. Holy shit. Wow, this is insane. I've read and seen a ridiculous amount of false information on TV and online. I've heard numerous things, too intense for me to repeat. Maybe he didn't want one of the girls leaving town. The rumor is going to write a book about it, and the reason is to write a book. He got love letters from women in prison. That's a rumor. What if the defense attorney wants to make sure he doesn't get executed? That's a rumor. There are tons of rumors in this town, knee deep in rumors. The worst rumor was that the murders were engineered by a woman. A psychic in Texas accused her of murder. The woman's being sued, and there's court facts about it. The rumor is the history professor did this at UI. I've heard rumors that the roommates might be or could be involved. I've heard that the girl he really liked, that he had stabbed her the most and the worst. Heard rumors about drug deals. Heard that it was a possible drug case. I heard there was a drug deal gone bad. There you go. Lana Oriani, watchers. Idiot. I've heard all kinds of things, from drug deals gone bad or to his being so smart that he thought he could get away with murder. One that really bothered me was that the roommates were not killed. Dylan and Bethany survived. They were talking during the murder, and 2 surviving roommates were involved somehow. There were drugs. It was disturbing. There's nothing in the information release that alludes to them having any involvement in the crimes, that the police department was corrupt and the prosecutor's office, some conspiracy about cover-up. There have been rumors about the university and cops being involved. I had met 2 of the victims and they were scared of him. Speculation is he drove over there and left his phone, murdered the people, drove away, left and went back that morning, remembering he forgot the sheath. That he might have thrown the knife in a river. That there is so much evidence against him. There's speculation some people heard him when he started attacking them and that one of them fought back. Some people think that he made it look like he drove to Clarkston, Washington, so it wouldn't look like he was in Moscow. And there was a coffee shop that saw his car in Clarkston. Oh my God. This is a mess. It's ripped our community apart. I fear that nobody is safe. I checked my doors. I bought my daughter and nieces that live in Moscow bear spray. Oh, man. Terrified us. We never locked our doors. Now we have locks on our doors and security systems. The media was very negative. It was painful for the witness. What irks our nerves is his thesis on how to get away with murder. I mean, it goes on and on. I mean, there's a lot in these. Okay, here's another thing. What have you seen, read, or heard about these events? I mean, this is extensive. Do you guys think that the judge is going to move the trial? 86% of Latah County survey respondents heard that the defendant owned the same type of car. 79% knew that cell phone data showed that he made several trips near the victim's home months before the killings. Crazy, huh? And this is all the questions they asked. I'm not going to go through all the survey, but they asked, they said you can respond with don't know, no opinion. But they did strongly agree, somewhat disagree for all of these. And there's a ton of them. Volume of media coverage, Latah County versus the rest of Idaho, and population of Latah County versus the rest of Idaho here, 36%. And look at 2.75% population compared to the rest of Idaho. Why don't you think it'll be televised like Daybell? I think it will. These are from this is from the court documents. This is a filing for change of venue. And this is their evidence and their outcomes of the survey. That's what this is. So they're trying to prove that he can't get a fair trial in Latah. This is Ada County. And then the population of Ada, see? We've got 2.75% here. We've got 26% here in Ada. Then you've got all the counties compared. Ada, Bannock, Canyon, and Latah. The volume of media coverage in those counties. So with the population of Latah being so small, they had more media coverage than any other county is what they're saying, basically. And then they've got all their data. And this is the guy that did it. That's his resume. They've got all this attached. His report, his final report, all of that. And that's pretty much it. Stats on how valid the polls are, et cetera, footnotes, sources, everything else. So my question I leave you with on this, which is what our poll says, is do you think that Bryan Kohberger can get a fair trial in Latah County? Hey, crime solver. It takes into account everything. Yeah, they even just went over casual conversations like we have here on YouTube and the things that have been speculated. You know, the drug things, everything we've heard, all the speculation that the roommates were involved, et cetera, et cetera. So 54% of you think that he can get a fair trial in Latah. Now we're going to do a poll. Do you guys think it should be moved? Because he can always come back later and say it wasn't fair if these stats are, you know, legit. So there you go. Answer that one. And again, I just want to say my thoughts go out to the Goncalves family. We haven't forgotten you guys. Absolutely not. I know a lot of you guys follow them on Facebook and, you know, continue showing them your support. Let them know that no one has forgotten what's going on here, even though it's been delayed. Legendary CEO, I asked you yesterday, where have you been? Were you planting flowers?
She said, we came home, we planted flowers on the side of the house.
I don't think the girls were involved. Why would they consider that? I don't want to consider that either, Cricket. I don't want to consider the girls involved because I don't think they are. You think that they're going to let them get away with that? No. Because the 911 call is probably very, very traumatic. Really, in my dreams, CEO? CE no?
I wouldn't let you sleep in my room if you were growing on my ass.
I think they should move it too. I mean, they did it for Lori and Chad. I say, do it. I get it that the community wants to be able to, you know, be a part of it, but I think it should be moved. I don't have issues with any of those survivors at all. At all. No way. No way. Mm-mm. I mean, I know we can only dream, right, CEO? Well, I'd like to bring your attention. Speaking of our children and keeping our children safe, this is a stalker who showed up at a 12-year-old girl's house in Ohio. And he came there all the way from Oregon. I know, and you're free to have your opinion. I don't think any of those girls were involved. I don't think it's that deep. I think that people just have a hard time comprehending this, which is, you know, expected. Yeah, I can't imagine what they went through, Trishy. I can't. As the mother of a son with PTSD from an accident survivor, I can't imagine what those girls still go through. I know, True Talk. Yeah, there is. It's the grifters of YouTube. It's the grifters of YouTube, and you know how they are. You know how they do. They make things up because they want to entice viewers.
Brian Koberger.
But this is really scary, and this is really eye-opening, in my opinion. So we're going to walk through this and talk about it, okay? This, again, body cam showing a stalker at a 12-year-old girl's house begging for a date.
I'm seriously trying to get a date with the girl on the internet.
Okay, yeah, but you're going like door to door trespassing on all these people's properties.
That's trespassing, knocking on someone's door, trespassing?
Yeah, if you don't have permission to be on their property, absolutely.
And let me just say, this guy starts getting into the same thing, like the God thing, you know, I am Jesus Christ, I am the creator, shit like that, right? Cricket, we've seen everything. I went through this, I mean, the first year after the crimes, I dug into everything. Thank you, Kami, for being here for 7 months. It has been a fun 7 months. Those two girls were terrified, and they probably still have nightmares. Not everything's a conspiracy. Sometimes crimes are just crimes. Not everything's a conspiracy. These young girls didn't plan anything like that. They were living their best lives, having fun at college.
Absolutely. So why are you going door to door if you're trying to meet some girl from the internet for a date?
I've been after her for 5 years and I haven't heard nothing from her. If I find her one day, that's fine. If not, I can leave. I just want a no answer or a yes answer.
Yeah, well, going door to door isn't going to find her.
What am I going to do? Sit out here, wait for them to pull out of the driveway?
Well, you don't even know where she lives.
I know I do, but I had my cell phone taken away from me. Like, I was sleeping over there by the Walgreens.
Okay.
And in that night, someone took my cell phone from me. Right. So I don't know which.
So what's your long-term plan here? Because I mean,
long-term plan
we got several complaints about you coming up, knocking on people's doors, soliciting.
That's not right, man.
Well, that's why I'm here. I'm not just driving around.
That didn't happen. I'm just saying if I could get a yes or no answer for her, I would leave. You know.
I'm gonna venture to say if you haven't found her yet, it's probably a no.
How are you to say that, man? I don't know what address.
Well, because you don't know where she lives. You don't even know who she is.
From who? Are you from Oregon?
I am from Oregon.
Oh, you got to take this guy in.
Why?
He's been harassing the 12-year-old daughter online.
That's how old she is?
Yeah.
You're gonna forbid me?
This is her dad. So her dad comes out. Listen, I'm just gonna say something right now because I'm getting pissed. Everyone is capable of jealousy. Not everybody's capable of the horrific stabbing that Brian Koberger did. Go back and listen to the Goncalves talk about the wounds on Kaylee. Not everybody's capable of something so heinous. Of course, girls can be jealous, but not everybody's capable of that. And give me a break. You think that kids planned together and they all were sick like this? No, just no. Stop. Stop it.
Little children? My name is Ask Little Children.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. The FBI is involved in it, so please.
The FBI? You know what?
All right, hey, stop talking to him. All right, step down here on the street. Get off this property. All right, I'll be with you in a second,
Yes,
sir.
thank you.
Yeah. All right, so there's your answer. This girl you've been talking to is 12 years old. You're obviously an adult, so that conversation.
Forbid them not.
Hey,
Forbid them not.
she is 12 years old. That is her parent. He will forbid whatever he chooses. Am I clear on that?
12 is very old. I was looking for a 6-year-old.
All right, that's disturbing.
You know what? Holy and profane, I'm holy. And so is my church, the Church of I Am Christ.
Wait, look, when you can, get a look at this guy's teeth. He looks like a fucking demon. He looks like a damn demon.
I am Christ.
Right, what are you need to, what are you, homeless? You live in the area?
I'm homeless and a truck driver, and I'm
okay, do you have a truck around here?
I'm waiting to make some money, man.
Okay, how are you going to make money?
Driving trucks, man.
Okay, do you have a truck down here?
No. When I get I'll get some money when I drive some trucks that got a Class A license.
Okay, but if you don't have a truck, how are you going to make some money? All right, what's your first name, bub? What's your first name?
My name is As Little Children.
All right, what's your first name?
My name is As Little Children.
As Little Children. Lock this motherfucker up and throw away the key. I don't know why they entertained this so long. They had a problem, Potato, finding a law to arrest this motherfucker on. The jail didn't want to take him. Wait for it. Wait for it.
As Little Children?
That is my full name.
So your first name is Az?
My first name is Az.
Okay, is it A-Z-Z?
As become As Little Children.
Is this cop real? A-Z-Z? What?
Or you will not enter the kingdom of heaven.
That's not making any sense whatsoever.
Become as little children, or you will not enter the kingdom of heaven. That's what it is.
Okay,
Become as little children, or you will not enter the kingdom of heaven.
So what is your government?
Whatever you think is paying you, whoever you think is paying you, I can pay you more.
Well, you're not paying me.
I can pay you
I'm
more.
a city employee.
If it's money, that's fine. If it's for diligency, I'm here for my woman. And if she does not want me, I will leave right now forever.
Well, the Father has said that you are not wanted.
What
so you should leave forever.
Forbid them not. Forbid them not.
Well, that's not your place to say that you're not welcome here. So what is your government name that you were given on your birth certificate or driver's license?
My name is. You want some social security number?
Sure. What's your first name? What's the name given to you by the government?
Timothy.
Timothy? And Timothy, what's the last name given to you by the government?
Nielsen. Nielsen. Forbid them not.
He's just highly educated.
Forsake your
wife,
your daughter.
With a 12-year-old female at this residence. On the internet.
Forsake your sons, forsake your daughters, forsake your wives, forsake children. Do not forsake little children. I'm little children. And if you're an officer of the law, that's it. If you will die for Jesus, if you will die for Jesus right now. If you want to have me.
Look at his teeth. This guy's a demon. I am convinced this guy is a demon. And I'm not weird like that, but look at him. His woman? She's 12. When the little girl was like 8, her and her sister had a little fucking YouTube channel where they did crafts. And he's been stalking her YouTube channel. Don't let your 8-year-olds have YouTube channels. Please.
Taken in underneath the law, go ahead, because you want to fight for that badge right now. Go ahead. I am the one Church of Christ who is Muslim and Christian.
You want to fight for that badge right now? They should have cuffed him right then and there.
And we have the living God who has never died.
Okay.
And if you want to be on
14 headquarters.
Whatever, man. Whatever. Take.
Your assumption's correct. I'm out with Timothy Nielsen. Do you need a
Who will lose their life for Jesus Christ will find it. Who will lose their life for Jesus Christ will find it. I will lose my life for Christ any day.
Okay.
I bet you win before me. I find it. Lose your life for Christ. Let me just walk out of here, man.
Okay. So
then he says, I bet you lose your life before me. Another reason he could have cuffed him right then and there. Get him the fuck out of that neighborhood. Get him away from this little girl in her house.
What's your long-term plan? So we put to bed this whole I'm looking for this girl I met on the internet. It's against the law. You can't have a relationship with a 12-year-old. So the father forbid it. You're not welcome on this property. So what is your long-term goal here, sir?
Not only did the father forbid it, it's illegal. It's illegal.
Yeah, I need to go take a shit, man.
Okay. So after that, so where are you gonna sleep tonight?
Not in the business. Not in the business, that's for sure.
Okay. Do you need a bus fare or something? You want like up to Cleveland? Like I can put you on an RTA bus.
They're gonna put him on a bus. What? Send him off to go stalk the next child? What?
It's up to Cleveland. They got some homeless shelters.
Oh yeah, let's just bus him up to Cleveland. Let's bus this demon pedophile up to Cleveland. Let's just put him in another area. Let's just do that.
Drugs right now.
I didn't say
cleaned myself up.
I didn't say you were, Mr. Nielsen. I never said you were on drugs. I'm trying to offer you some assistance because.
Let me just go consult with the Bible and consult with God right now.
Timothy, listen. So apparently, according to dispatch, we've been dealing with you in this capacity for a couple weeks now.
I will leave forever if that's what's in her heart that says that I do not want this guy. I will leave forever, and that.
He's been in her yard. Her dad has him on camera in the backyard 2 weeks prior to this. 2 weeks prior. This is in Ohio. He traveled from Oregon to Ohio. If that's not enough to arrest him saying, I came here for my woman who's 12, I don't know what is. This is nuts.
5 years has been one girl has been a long time. 5 years. 5 years.
So would you agree with me that at 12 years old she's not?
I do not agree.
Okay. So I'm telling you that you're not to have any type of relationship.
Okay, as little children, right? She's going to be old one day and die.
So?
Because I will live forever, and I will kill myself with that.
Now he's threatening to kill himself and hollering at her house about her dying. Why are they letting him do this?
Kill myself.
Okay. So are you making threats to harm yourself?
No, I'm not.
Are you sure? Because you just said I'll kill myself.
Without her, I will die one day.
Well, we're all going to die one day.
Right. And I hope my day is soon.
Okay. Why is that?
I'll be diligent with you, sir.
Okay, I appreciate that. But so why do you think you? I mean, we're all going to die one day. But I mean, you understand she's 12, but I understand from you that doesn't make a difference.
But you don't understand God. With men, things aren't possible. With God, all things are possible. All things.
See this? Using God to say all things are possible, even pedophilia.
I understand that. I mean, that's what they say.
And I want to know what's in her heart. Her heart.
Okay.
Hey, everybody, we're going to get you right back to that body cam in just a minute. But here's a question for you. What a lot of the body cam claim for the people.
If she says, yes, I'm in love with this.
Don't give me all that stuff, man. I've been with one girl all these years.
I'm trying to understand where you're coming from.
Or gone whoring around with other girls. I've been with one girl this whole year.
Okay. And where's that girl at?
2 girls. That's it. All these years. All these years.
Okay, that's enough to put him in and find out what other girls he's been obsessed with. I mean, this guy is literally the devil. Look at him.
I tried to build this church. One church is all that's left. It's because God has never died. He's always living. He's a living God, and he has never died. He escaped that death. When he came back and he was like crying, he said, "What you guys doing all sleeping? Let's go."
Look at this guy. Imagine this guy coming after your daughter. What am I looking at, y'all? I'm dead serious. What is this? What is this? Why did Heidi's get deleted? That must have been a mistake. Oops. And he's been in the area for weeks. And then they're letting him carry on in front of her home.
Let's go. That's God for you. And he drives the biggest ship around here. And they're going to be on the mast for me. Back mast, front mast. My 2 girls.
Okay, so who do you think lives here?
Those aren't your fucking 2 girls, you sicko.
I don't know, man. I'm in a nightmare, man. I've been 5 years here, man. 5 years on the same girls. And I don't do other girls, man.
So you know these 2 girls' names, but...
I'm putting in nobody in danger.
So who do you think lives here?
And I'm putting nobody in danger.
But you've never... So how do you...
From the internet. I will never harm anybody. I'm putting nobody in danger.
Okay.
I could maybe just take a date with... No sex. I'm not looking for sex. Maybe just a date with coffee or something, man. Just to meet her on the very...
Do you think 12-year-old...
I'm not looking for sex, just a date or coffee or something, man.
Drink coffee?
I'll buy her dinner, dude. I don't care. I'm not looking for sex.
All right. Mr. Nielsen, do me a favor. Just sit tight for 1 second. I'll be right back with you. I'm going to get that final answer for you. Yeah, you got it. Absolutely.
Jesus in her heart, dude. Jesus in her heart. Get it from Jesus. Bring it back to me, man. Please. You can do that, sir. I would salute you.
1921.
Yeah, you guys have got above and beyond faith.
No, it's her and her sister. So it's a little girl and her sister that had the YouTube channel, and that's how he found them. And he's like, 5 years on the same girls. He's talking about her and her sister.
Hi.
Hi there.
Can I step in and talk to you?
Sure.
All right. Sorry, you got a second? So they do have so he keeps talking about so they have a daughter. Her best friend is who lives in like Parma Heights.
I totally disagree, Cheryl. I think he should have been handcuffed and detained in the vehicle so that this little girl and her family didn't have to hear these rantings. They could have detained him immediately and put him in the back of the police car. Instead, they let him stand in the road, continue trespassing in their front yard, and hollering things at their 12-year-old. I think that's wrong.
So apparently they had like a YouTube channel like 5 years ago, but he somehow started stalking them. So he ventured from Oregon, and now he knows where he is. And like in my conversation with him, like he's leaving with this 12-year-old. Like nobody's going to tell him no. He doesn't care about the law. Under God, no one shall forbid. Blah blah blah. Like these folks are scared to death.
I'm trying to figure out myself, but he said 5 years. They haven't posted in a while, and I'm like, how do you know they live here? He's like, I love their channel. Once I started watching their channel, everything else went to... I was like, but how do you find out they live here? And he goes, well, I don't want to say, but it wasn't hard. And it sounds like they're kids.
They're 12 years old. Well, 13.
He said, how did you find out they lived here? From a YouTube channel. And he said it wasn't hard. He called the mother's cell phone. He was calling the mom's cell phone, y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he said that's some internet channel, and they haven't posted in a little while, and he's trying to start a church, and they're like, he wants a date. He's down here on his hands and knees begging God for a date.
Oh, watch this camera.
Yeah,
like
so,
I thought we were throwing down for a second. So he got really animated about being in the church. He kept saying his name was as the children, and he kept referencing God in the church. So unfortunately, this guy confirmed that this is the right house because he came out, and as he talked to the guy here in the drive, he goes, "Are you from Oregon?" Yeah. He goes, "This is the guy, my daughter." I'm like, oh.
Is he from Portland? He said he's from Portland.
As soon as the father said, this is the guy, they should have cuffed him and detained him while they investigated this further, not let him continue his damn rant.
California
No,
ID.
so I just, like I said, I haven't run the ID. Terry said that it's probably this guy.
Yes, we've been dealing with him, but he said he came from Portland. So I'm like, where are you staying? He goes, well, I was downtown Cleveland, but Portland's way nicer than Portland.
I mean, so he's homeless. I mean, these parents, like, I guess he found out mom's cell phone. I guess he called mom's cell phone a couple weeks ago, and like now he knows where they live, and so like they're petrified.
So there's no way the mom is on the internet in some capacity. This guy's after the mom, is he?
No, it's definitely the kids.
Okay.
It's definitely the kids. Yeah. So she's like, isn't there some type of anti-stalking or something? And I kind of heard like, can he be arrested? I go, well, he hasn't really done anything yet. She's like, well, I'm afraid he's going to abduct our child. I'm like, I totally understand that. Oh, go ahead. I mean, and he would in a heartbeat. Like, I truly feel that.
Did you hear that cop? He hasn't done anything yet. That's what the cop told the dad. Yeah, well, he hasn't done anything yet. And the cop's like, well, he was going to abduct my daughter. I'm afraid he's going to take our kid.
I'm like, I totally understand that. Oh, go ahead. I mean, and he would in a heartbeat. Like, I truly feel that, the way he's been acting. Yeah, I was just inside talking to the male and female half.
Clear, so make sure you have that information.
Yeah, so I don't really know what to do, because I'm fearful for this little girl's safety. I mean, negative. I mean, it's clearly a 53 situation, but I guess we can put an anti-stalking order on him. I guess we can, cite him for harassment. I mean, I'll have to get statements and get a little more from them, because I mean, this is all brand new to me. So I guess they saw him walking through the backyard. I think she said either a couple days ago or last week, and I guess his daughter's like, do you think that could be the guy from Oregon? She's like, I don't think so. So I mean, I guess he was here last week, like looking around. So when I first came up, he's like,
why aren't they? I mean, really?
I'm trying to find this girl I met on the internet to go on a date. And I'm like, well, where does she live?
Yeah, he said right here.
Yeah, well, he knows now because Dad came out and confirmed that, this is the guy that, has been, talking to my daughter. At first, when I first came up, he didn't know. He didn't point to this house. He didn't identify this house. He was just kept looking back and forth. He'd just been looking for this girl being met on the
He was knocking on all the doors. He was knocking on all the doors in this neighborhood looking for this little girl, trying to find the right house. And the neighbors called the police.
But he's been walking through this property a couple times here. All right.
I don't know what to do off the top of my head except
I'm with you.
Jail to say, like, listen, this dude is here to abduct girls, and this is what we got right now. Like,
yeah, so apparently the FBI got involved like 5 years ago, and like apparently this agent.
No, Cor, the kids did not tell them their address. They were blocking him on YouTube, and he kept making new names. No, they didn't give their address. He found it. He found it, and he found the mom's phone and everything else. The kids did not tell him anything in this case.
And I mean, I don't have all the details about it. We just talked briefly. But apparently, all they were involved, said it's a mental situation. But the FBI guy's like, he basically told the family, he goes, he lives in Oregon. I wouldn't worry too much about it. And here he is on their front porch now. So I'm going to see if I can get the FBI guy's agent's name and stuff like that. Yeah.
The dad has already involved the FBI. There's already an open investigation with the FBI. And they don't think, oh, let's call the FBI and see if, they want this guy. Just wait, it gets worse.
Like, did he make any kind of comments to anybody or to Dad?
No, this is the first time they've actually had contact.
Yeah, no. When Dad came out and talked to him, he wasn't like, I'm here to take your kids, or like, I'm going to take her.
Well, I'd have to go back and look. I mean, I think he's like, like we're meant to be, or in her heart, or just something.
Yeah. Did you hear that, Chris? He's just here saying we're meant to be, and like in my heart, stuff like that. And I don't think like leaving. He's.
I was going to give him a start on statements. I'll be back. But hey, Doug. I'm 3 or 4. So like he also has no regard for the age. He goes, I don't care if she's 6. I'm looking for 6-year-olds, 12-year-olds. Like, I mean, he has no regard for like the age discrepancy. And all right, Mr. Nielsen, I told you I would do you one favor. I did speak with the 12-year-old, and I know while you said that you don't care if they're 6 years old, 12 years old, it's what you feel in your heart. She wants nothing to do with you. There's no love connection. She does not foresee herself growing old in your arms and dying together with you or anything like that. So it is definitely a no-go. I hate to be the person to break your heart, but it is definitely not gonna work out. Regardless of what may have been communicated on the internet, what you thought in your mind, what you thought in your heart, there is definitely no.
And do you believe it came from her?
I talked to her specifically.
Do you believe it came from her? She wasn't under distress at all?
Well, no, she's not under.
Under distress? Yeah, it's not hard to find people. You can get an email from a YouTube channel and you can find someone. That's how they do it.
Duress.
How do you know?
Because I was in the house.
How do you know she's not under duress right now?
Okay.
How do you know she's not under duress? Huh?
Put your hands on your back. Put your hands behind your back. We're not going to have you acting up like this. You're going to be detained right now, just based on your erratic behavior.
Yeah.
While we investigate the complaint of you trying to,
she's under distress.
Oh, you couldn't have done that 15 minutes ago? You couldn't have detained him 15 minutes ago for his rants?
While we continue to investigate your desire to have a relationship with a 12-year-old.
That's erratic?
Step this way. It doesn't matter. Yours is probably easier to get into.
I've done nothing. I have done nothing.
Like I said, Mr. Nielsen, you're not under arrest at this time, but you are being detained during the investigation of a relationship with a 12-year-old. Do you have anything in your pockets?
I got a couple needles.
Do you really?
Don't make sure they're not uncapped. They haven't been used, but they may be uncapped because they may have uncapped.
Okay.
Good
we have your permission to take the needles and stuff out of your pockets so we don't get stuck. Okay.
Yeah. Don't get stuck. I'll get them out if you need it.
I'm just gonna take everything.
Yeah.
So what's in the needles?
There's nothing in the needles.
There's one of them.
Why do you need needles?
Actually, it's probably longer than 15 minutes because this is edited. Law and Crime edited out stuff. So, yeah, this is god awful. This is god awful. You know, I get it's mental, but to do all, I don't know. I just think it's awful.
Because I need a clean needle if I use drugs at some point, which I'm not under any drugs right now, and a clean needle is, I don't want to get AIDS or nothing, man. That's what. Just want to make you sure because
I appreciate it. We always ask because sometimes caps fall off, and we certainly don't want to get stuck.
I know.
If you have a bag or something.
Yeah. If you find needles, you need to
You don't have any drugs on you, do you?
I don't have any drugs, man. I came here sober. I went downtown and sobered up, and that's why I came here sobered up. I had a little bit of alcohol, that's about it. Probably gone by now.
How long have you been sober?
About like a week or two, I don't know.
A couple days?
A week or two.
A week or two?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to put yours on, I'll hold it.
Well, I was just going to have you
Right.
dump everything out here.
Hey, Mr. Right?
Hey, come on.
I got a date with your brother.
Do you believe these are extra larges, Officer Martinez?
Now he's yelling to the brother.
I do not.
Thank you. All right. Let me have just some of the other stuff there. I'm just going to fold it all up in the glove here. What do you have in the little glass jar here?
It's paint.
Why you sniff the paint? You huff the paint?
I make signs because I'm homeless. That's why.
You make signs with it?
Is there any more? Is there any other pocket? Is that it?
This is Jesus for you guys. This is Jesus. Huh? Can I get one date with your brother at least, just to talk to me and let me go at ease? Just a date with a brother, please. Just coffee or something with her brother.
What the fuck, man? Is this not one of the sickest things you've ever seen? Yeah, where does he get money? How did he get from Oregon to Ohio? How are these motherfuckers doing it?
Pull up on the...
You don't even gotta be there. My ego at least.
What's Ben say?
He suggested inducing panic, but I don't really think it fits if they're the only victims, you know? It's public alarm.
They want to charge him with inducing panic. Y'all, inducing panic. Look at the neighbors. They're like, y'all better get this crazy motherfucker out of our neighborhood. Oh, I think we can do inducing panic. No, it's not almost over. This is when they get the tablet and they look up the law because they don't know what they can charge him with. They're even on the phone with the sergeant and they don't know what they can charge him with.
I don't think the family counts.
Yeah, but like she's shaking in there, like the 12-year-old.
You can't leave the guy here. The trouble is, I don't know.
Yeah, I agree, and that's what I was explaining to the kids. The parents.
Send him for trespass.
Yeah, but we're trying to.
Is the jail gonna take him?
I think if we explain the circumstances.
Yeah, this like, hey, do you want to end up on the news for some kind of child predator thing?
Yeah, no, agree.
Hear that? The jail? You think the jail will take him? We don't want to end up on the news for some kind of child predator thing?
Idaho County Jail.
Agreed. So I know they're not felonies, but there's a real safety risk here. I mean the fact that Yeah, I mean, the fact that he doesn't care, he goes, I don't care if it's a 6-year-old, like, making comments like that, like, it's what God wants, thou shalt not forbid. I'm like, well, her father's forbidding, who are you? I mean, just... And here's the thing, though, like, he's from Oregon. He came here and, like, found out where they lived. He got mom's phone number 2 weeks ago and called mom from, like, a restricted number. Like, he's done research on where they live. So here's just the backstory. So I roll up, and he said he's looking for a girl for a date that he met on the internet 5 years ago. So he's been going door to door. So Dad comes in, he's just, like, talking about God, and his name is As the Children. Dad comes out, he goes, wait, are you from Oregon? Yeah. And then he's like, this guy, he's been talking on the internet to my 12-year-old daughter. And I'm like, all right. So he made his way out here from Oregon. So 5 years ago, this girl was like 8 or 9. Her girlfriend from Parma, Berea, somewhere up there, was 8 or 9. They had some YouTube channel where they would do arts and crafts, and they would get fun. He latched onto that, and he started commenting on them. And she'd blog him. He created a new profile and started doing more comments. Like, we're meant to be together, and God says you're behind this, that, and the other. And so starts down that road. And so now here we are, 4 or 5 years later, he's in their front yard.
What does he say about stalking?
Well, and that's, we're going to look that up as well. So that's the thing. Like, so I guess 4 years ago, they contacted the Center for Exploited Children. They contacted Portland FBI. They went out, talked to him, like, yeah, he's a little mental, but he's in Portland. I wouldn't worry too much.
A little mental? True Talk, I agree with you. True Talk said, y'all, this is becoming normalized for these people to be attracted to your kids. Americans need to wake the hell up. And I agree. What is this discussion about? Why does there need to be a discussion? I'm sorry, I'm getting worked up. But this pisses me off. Not the cops' fault that society refuses to deal with mentally ill and addicted? What? That's not what this issue is about. This is about protecting a 12-year-old. That comes before the mentally ill and the addicted. Sorry. In my book, kids come first. Then mentally ill, then addicted. Not in the other order. That little girl comes first.
Too much about it. Here we are, 4 years later, he's in your front yard.
Wow. Originally from California.
Oregon, yeah. But right, I mean, you talk about stalking, if that's not a pattern, I don't... Well, so with the stalking, no person shall knowingly take any action that would cause another person to believe that the offender will cause physical harm or emotional distress to that person or a member of their family. This will constitute menacing by stalking under Ohio law.
Also, that's going to be menacing by stalking.
Well,
does there have to be a threat for that?
Well, that's what I'm looking. Let's look at the actual Ohio Revised Code here.
Usually, menacing involves some kind of threat of...
No person by engaging in a pattern of conduct shall knowingly cause another person to believe that the offender will cause physical harm to the other person or a family or household member of the other person or cause mental distress to the other person or a family or
Cheryl, this is a no-brainer charge. This is a no-brainer charge. We have a guy admitting that he crossed not even just state lines. He went across the country to find his woman that is a 12-year-old girl. He admitted to stalking her for 5 years. The dad backed it up. He's calling the mother's phone. He's seen in their backyard. What more do they need? I call bullshit. I don't agree, Cheryl. This little girl's safety and what he has done to her for the last 5 years should have been the most important thing. And there's a lot of charges right there.
household member of the other person in addition to any other basis for the person's belief that the offender will cause physical harm, blah, 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 blah. This says no person through the use of any form of written communication or electronic method of remotely transferring information, including not limited to any computer network, blah, 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 shall post a message. So, violate division of the...
I mean, this isn't a grown woman. This is a 12-year-old and her little sister. Like, if this was adults, fuck, maybe. But for a kid? Zero tolerance. Zero tolerance. You come to someone's front yard and you trespass and you say you're there to take their 12-year-old, you should be in jail.
Section, urge or incite another to commit a violation. No person with a sexual motivation shall violate. Whoever violates this section is guilty of menacing by stalking. It's misdemeanor first degree.
I guess get him in.
Menacing by stalking is a felony of the fourth degree if any of the follows. The offender previously has been convicted or pled guilty to a violation of 291121. In committing the offense, the offender made a threat of physical harm to or against the victim as a result of an offense committed.
Oh, and let's not forget what Micro Kimmy just said. This guy's been on the feds' radar, quote unquote radar, for 5 years. For 5 years, that the feds have known about this man, and he managed to make it to her neighborhood in front of her front door. How closely are they watching?
Or a third person on their behalf. In committing the offense under Division 1 of the section, the offender trespassed on the land or premises where the victim lives, is employs, or attends school. F4. F4, menacing by stalking.
But the jail, we called the jail, and Carmen explained the whole situation. She just said, I hammered the whole situation. They said they'll only accept if we elevate the charges in the morning.
You hear this? They don't want him in the jail. They don't want him in the jail. Only if we elevate the charges will they take him. So what are they going to do? Put him on a bus? Send him back to Cleveland? Send him to another neighborhood? Keep him floating around out there?
So Sergeant Spencer called Prosecutor Thompson, who's like, well, we can't elevate him that fast. And then, of course, Chris wants the Bureau to get involved, try to figure out who the agent was that ran the original investigation, get more information. So Spence's idea was like, let's just get him in jail on a 72-hour hold.
F4, menacing by stalking. He trespassed on the property of the victim.
But he's either been charged with...
Doesn't matter.
Okay, Mummert is brainstorming. Maybe we have a felony menacing by stalking that we could law inform that would negate the whole problem.
Yeah.
He just pulled his MBT over. We're all trying to brainstorm because Spence even said, off the top of our heads, we had trespassing. The jail OIC said we're only going to accept him on that M4 if you can promise me you're going to elevate charge in the morning, which we can't do. Exactly. And Spencer's like, I got Forrest on it, but I don't know. I'm here to tell you.
I mean, I thought this was an interesting thing to go over because we're seeing the backside of what these cops do, right? They got this guy detained finally, and now this is what they're doing. Why won't the jail take him? Why won't the jail take him? He's in front of a 12-year-old fucking child's house. No. I mean, in Florida, we put guys like this in Old Sparky. We put these people on death row.
I am not comfortable leaving this guy here.
Mm-mm.
And he's in my car, and I'm going to tell you, I don't even like him being in my car. This guy was here to steal children. I don't think he has the capacity to know.
He didn't care she was 12, didn't care if she was 6.
He openly told us, I don't care what their ages are, I'm here for them. He's on his hands and knees pleading out loud. There's neighbors out all over the place. I called for more guys even when Mummert and Macrinos and I were here. The guy's up and down. And he came from Oregon to take these kids.
And he knows exactly where they live.
And he knows their address.
He came from Oregon to take these kids. Isn't that attempted kidnapping? I don't know. Attempted kidnapping is a law. He traveled from Oregon to take these kids. It's not any more clear than that.
Which is freaky. So we were really looking to just get him in jail so that we can do some legwork behind the scenes. Do you think that'll fit?
I do, because it says...
Chief, do you think I could call you back in like 5 minutes?
I think we got this.
Because quite frankly, let me call Spencer real quick and run what Mummert just found, because if that's the case, it's an F4 and we'll long form in the jail. I'll take him on the felony. I would appreciate it. This is a good...
Thanks for coming over to hang out.
Yeah, it's a good use of the calling in favor. So
thanks for coming over and hanging out.
I'll call Spence and then I'll call you right back, Chief. All right, thank you.
All right.
So what is this?
Menacing by stalking. No person, by engaging in a pattern of conduct, shall knowingly cause another person to believe that the offender will cause physical harm to the other person or family or household member of the other person, or cause mental distress. They are mentally distressed.
I bet they are.
So to the other person or family or household member. So if you scroll down here,
F4.
Well, if you scroll down,
that guy says, "I bet they are. I'm mentally distressed."
On here, it's an M1, but then it says except otherwise provided, it's a first-degree misdemeanor.
Hey, Chris.
Menacing by stalking is a felony of the 4th degree if any of the following applies. He's been previously convicted, we don't know. In committing the offense, the offender made a threat of physical harm against the victim. That's not it, but C section. In committing the offense, the offender trespassed on the land or premises where the victim lives.
What Mummert pulled is F4, menacing by stalking, because the guy trespassed on the property of the victim. How do we feel about that? In which case it would negate all the nonsense that they won't take him because it's an F4.
See, I'm glad they're doing their legwork, but they have to do the legwork because the jail won't take him.
Yes, can you go back up to the top?
Yeah.
Brian, I'm going to read this to Chris. Sure. So the A section is no person engaging in a pattern of conduct, which I think we can establish here.
For 5 years?
He's been after these guys for 5 years. They've already called other law enforcement agencies. Shall knowingly cause another person to believe that the offender will cause physical harm to the other person, family, household member of the person, or cause mental distress to the other person or family or household member. I can tell you this family is under significant mental distress. So...
Here, I'll scroll for you.
Well, hold on. It says engaging...
Yeah, people can have mental health episodes. Pedos are pedos, okay? There's pedos without mental illness, and there's pedos with mental illness. What you're looking at is a pedo with mental illness. The mental illness doesn't make a pedo, okay? Mental illness does not make a pedo. Let's not put everybody who has mental illness and mental episodes, they could be pedos. No.
In a pattern of conduct.
He's been walking the streets of Brunswick for 2 weeks.
Yeah, we've gotten multiple calls on him over the last 2 weeks.
They've seen him in their yard 2 weeks ago.
In their backyard a couple weeks ago. Can the family positively identify him?
Absolutely.
This is the same dude? Yeah, Brian says they can.
And he got the wife's, he got mom's phone number.
And he's been calling her.
She has no idea. She doesn't have a social media presence.
Does she have a call log of him calling that would show the number?
The mom doesn't even have a social media presence. Do you hear this? He found these kids, and the mom isn't even on social media. And he got her number, and he called her. And he walked in their backyard.
It doesn't. I think it shows up as like blocked, restricted or something. 'Cause I asked her like what the number was. It says it doesn't show up.
Comes up as blocked or restricted.
We good with this?
Yeah.
You're going to get a P2P PGT. That was a good call. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'll keep you posted. All right, thanks. You know, it shouldn't be this hard.
No.
But in this instance, it really...
You absolutely agree.
I agree with them. It should not be this hard. And I think they were a little, frustrated too, that they had to go through all that. And I think you're right. The laws need to be changed. If they had to dig that hard to find a charge on this guy, then there's something wrong in the state of Ohio.
All right, yeah, he's got him on his backyard camera approximately 2 weeks ago, walking through their backyard. So at the time, he didn't know that the victim lived specifically here, all the way from Portland. And I told the daughter, I said, you understand how dangerous social media is now? And she's like, they're so upset.
Do you understand the dangers of social media now?
This is one of those things we just stopped a kidnapping.
Yeah. Oops. That's how it ends. We just stopped a kidnapping. And they did. And I'm glad that they didn't just put him on a bus. But this is very alarming, and I think everybody needs to see this. I mean, look at him. He's right smack in their driveway in the very beginning. Oh, I wouldn't have stayed inside. I would have been... Her dad had a lot of self-control. Her dad had a lot of self-control. Yeah, zero tolerance for pedophilia, man. I mean, this guy clearly said, I'm here for my woman. And his woman happens to be 12. A pedo is a pedo. And you know what? This just shows the lack of communication between the FBI and these law enforcement officers. If the FBI was aware of him, he managed to travel across the country and end up at their front door. What if he would have snuck in their house? What if these people left their slider open at night by accident? And this fucker's in their backyard and he goes and tries the door and it's unlocked. And he got in their home. What could have happened? I can tell you from cameras and lawsuits and the persecution of cops, they're afraid to do their jobs. But this is a pedo. I mean, like the needles, the threats to the law enforcement. I know, Southern Sass. No. I mean, you might have come in late, but you're right. What was the problem taking him to jail? He blatantly admitted not caring what the age of the child is. And he was there to take him. Where is the girls' rights? Where is their protection from this man? It would be a repeat of Elizabeth Smart. I can't. I agree with cutting the Peter off, but the other comment, Rock, I can't let that slide. Sorry. But I do agree with you cutting that Peter off. But you know what? It doesn't take their hands away. Cutting their Peter off doesn't stop the urges, and it doesn't take their hands away. Right, but Flo, he had been in the area for 2 weeks. Where was the FBI? He was sleeping right up at the corner. The neighbors were calling. Where was the FBI? We should, Trishy. That would be really interesting to find out what the laws are on child predators between the states. You know what? Why don't we all look up our state's laws and reconvene with that? You know, maybe we can do it in my Facebook group. Come into Facebook and paste your state's child predator laws and your state's stalking laws. And then I'll put it all together if you guys, participate, and I'll put it all together and we can do some comparing. I really think that we need to educate ourselves because this was shocking to me as well. But does chemical castration do anything when they still have hands? If he was seen in their backyard, then he's, wandering around the neighborhood, multiple neighbors calling, going on for 2 weeks. And the feds couldn't swoop in and get with these law enforcement officers to scoop this guy up? Yeah, maybe we do need child stalking laws now that children are being stalked online. But if you guys want to join our Facebook group, let's all put our laws in there. I'm willing to go through them, put them side by side, and talk through them and see. If you haven't noticed, the governor is promoting perversions. I don't know what governor you're talking about. I know laws are laws, but we need to know what our laws are. We need to be aware. We need to be, because if there needs to be changes, if we don't know what they are, how can we change them? How can we ask for anything more if we don't even know what's in place? So let's do that. Facebook, check it out. Thank you, Angie B. I got the wrong thing. Oh, Ohio's governor. I don't know who he is. I'd have to look into that. Hi, Helen. Hi, everybody that came in late. Sorry. We did Brian Koberger. We went over a lot of interesting things. We went over the poll results. Not all of them, but a lot of some of the poll results from their phone poll in Idaho. And then we also watched the Goncalves interview with Vinny. Even wandering around the neighborhood should have been reported. Right, 2 weeks. I mean, that's a long time. I know. I know. The only reason I know, Amy, is because I know that Florida just passed the law for pedos who commit acts against children it's a capital crime here in Florida. And that just changed. Tennessee passed the same law, guys. So we need to know what our states have, because Tennessee has the death penalty for predators that hurt children, and so does Florida. Right? Tennessee, I applaud them for putting that in place. It's awesome. Oh, tampon Tim, that's not good. They stopped a kidnapping, period. North Carolina. Yeah, you guys get into the Facebook and do it because I wanna see what you guys are like. You know, what your state's like. Texas too. Yeah, I have a Facebook and then I have a Facebook group. So let me get you the link to the Facebook group. Yeah, I mean, if we aren't educated on what it stands right now, how do we even know what needs to be changed? I thought I had a Facebook prompt just for Facebook, don't I? I'm just throwing things out there. This is important, though. We should... Tim is from Minnesota. I thought he was from Oregon, California, Oregon or something. Did it pop up? No, it didn't. Hold on. Let me get the link for the Facebook group because I think this is important. I don't know who Tampon Tim is, y'all. I don't know Tampon Tim. Tampon Tim, that's terrible. Here we go. Here's the link. It's actually facebook.com groups/J for Justice. But here it is. Oh, what was the prompt? Oh, socials. Oh, here's the group. That's just for the Facebook. Here we go. That's the group right there. I'll pin it. If you guys want to join, we'll let you in today. Destin is based. What? The logo for Nickelodeon is the shape of Epstein Island. Well, I think that there's a lot of pedophilia out there. It's being exposed. We're seeing it being exposed. We're seeing people from Nickelodeon. We're seeing a lot from these children shows. It's disgusting. And I agree with everything you're saying, Rock. I agree with everything you're saying, Rock. I know, I'm livid too, Crimes. I know. Pissed me off too. I'm like, I've got to show this to you guys. All right. I'll go let you in, Missy. All right. We're going to wrap this up today, guys. Thank you for being here. We're going to dance it out and we are going to play our credits. Myron, let's run our credits. I'll see you guys later tonight. I'm going to repost the Boon. We're going to premiere the Boon with live chat. So we're going to try that again tonight because I think Sarah's done a good job. She had a victory in court. So look for that at 8 o'clock. I'm going to get that up right now. We'll see you. We'll see you tomorrow, though, on Monday Live. Got a good show for you tomorrow. And Legendary, it was good to see you. Don't be a stranger, okay? I hope you're doing good. I hope you're doing okay. Hit me up on Discord. All right. You guys, Myron, let's go. Bye, guys. Thanks for your support. So much for watching. If you enjoyed this live stream or video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on my latest content. Want to take it a step further?
Bring it all in.
And join our community clickers by becoming a Patreon or a YouTube member. You'll get exclusive access to our Discord server, special channel perks, and much more. Until then, I'll see you in the next one.
Click, 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 click. It's real easy, man. and your problems. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. Damn, 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 damn. You wanna be with me. You wanna feel something real, but I'm feeling differently. You're making plans to get to friends, but don't wanna face the fact that I ain't got time for that. Staying up late, sleeping all day, dreaming about Cadillacs. Buying new shoes, hanging by the pool, sipping on Coke and Jack. Calling my phone when you feel alone, but I'll never call you back.
I think you got a Ouija board down your pants. You're gonna pull that out.
You want one Jennifer or two Jennifers?
Thanks so much, Jennifer.
Jennifer loves horses. Hi, Jennifer.